So you have recently gotten the news that you are pregnant, or you are a parent who has raised children for some time now. You are definitely interested in the subject of money and finances and how you can be able to teach your children. This is a video that you should be seeing. So how do you raise children right? And how do you avoid them becoming a financial burden in the future? So today we are going to explore the subject. So one thing that you should be able to understand, that is, when children are born onto this earth, they are born with a clean slate. They do not know anything. They do not know what is evil from what is good. They do not know what is bad from what is good. They do not know what to do and where to go. And you are able to influence them and teach them the ways that they should go. Because remember, what you teach them in their childhood is what they remain with even in their adulthood. So the first thing that you need to do is to teach them about delayed gratification. Teach them the meaning of yes and no and not now. Because even in the journey of life, we are met with answers like no, not now. We are not given things instantly. We are not instantly fulfilled. And by teaching them no and not now, and not just yes, they learn how to postpone their instant desire to be able to get something. This would be able to give them the ability to be able to resist the temptation of overspending, to be able to resist the temptation of falling into social pressure of spending and using their money haphazardly. It also helps them to be able to learn that they do not need to say yes to everything and try to please everyone, and in the process losing their financial capacity by spending, getting into debt and a lot of loans. Then the other thing that is related to them is to teach them about income and teach them about debt and teach them the difference. You should be able to teach them that there's a difference between the money that you earn as an income, either from running a business or from being employed or from your investments, and there's also the difference of the money you receive as loan. Many people get into adulthood without really understanding that loans are different from income, and they end up misusing loans and taking up loans as they assume that this is just income that they have earned beforehand. However, this comes with many expenses such as interest and things like that can be painful, especially if you do not know how to handle credit. So teach them about incomes, investment earnings and loans. Let them know the difference from an early age, and then let them know what they should be able to explore as they grow up. Then the other thing, you need to teach them the value of money, and especially the time value of money. Teaching them that one unit of a currency, $1 may buy bread today, but may not be able to buy bread in the next 10 years. They need to understand that there is inflation and how inflation comes into playing into how much money loses value over time. Let them learn. Find simple ways to teach them this. Keep receipts. Show them receipts for previous years of the same value item, and let them see how the price increases over time. Because when they understand the time value of money, they also understand that investments grow and how compound interest actually works. Because remember, when they are knowledgeable about time value of money, then they will be able to make money from compound interest rather than pay money in loans that interest has compounded. So the latter, which is more painful, and the former, which is beneficial towards their financial journey. Then the other thing you need to teach them is to budget. They need to know that you need to make a plan of how you're going to spend your money. You need to make a plan on how you're going to invest. You need to have a structure, because not planning is indeed failure from the beginning. You either plan ahead or plan to fail. So they need to know that a budget is important. They also need to know how to use a budget. They need to know how to record those expenses that they are using. They need to know that they are overspending at any given time or underspending, and how their budget allocation is going. And they need to understand that they cannot go above the budget that they have set. Then they need to also monitor what their performance is at the end of the period. Teach them by showing them simple, having them write simply the expenses in books, having them analyze and calculate, having them understand that they are out of budget when they really are, and having them to know that they still have a leeway in terms of a budget, and make them understand they need to, if they overspend on one item, then it means that they sacrifice on another item. These are the ways that they learn how to track their expenses, how to track their investments, how to track their financial affairs, which is highly important even as they grow into maturity. The other thing that you need to show that to do is to allow them to shop, allow them to buy once so often, allow them to make the grocery purchases, and stick to what they have bought as what you're going to use for that period. So if they make a lot of purchases in sweets and breads and milk, and avoid doing purchases in vegetables and fruits, let them learn the consequences of their spending, and let them learn, like we mentioned earlier, that when you have set a budget, you cannot go over and beyond. The same way, if you have earned $1,000, you cannot overspend it badly and assume that you will get another amount of money. It's the same way they should also learn that when they shop and buy things that they do not necessarily need, there is a consequence to that. It might be tough in the beginning even for you, but this is how they learn that whatever you buy has a direct impact on how you live your life. And the other thing you need to teach them is about cash flow. Teach them that money does not come consistently, and when it does, it needs to be used in such a way that it is spread out over a period of time. Let them know what things that they do that reduce the cash that they have. What are the things that they do that increase the cash that they have? How are they going to plan out their purchases so that they do not run out of cash quickly? How do they learn how to have just enough cash just in time for the expenses that they need to make? Let them understand that some expenses are paid at a period of time, a specific period of time, like rent. Certain expenses are paid consistently through the period. Certain things are carried out, or certain incomes come, like investment income and things like that, come after a period of time. Let them also learn the joy of receiving money, because when they learn the joy of receiving money, then they would learn to appreciate not having a lot of cash flow out of their hands, and rather desire to have cash flow into their hands. Another thing that is connected with loans, let them learn the whole issue of debt. What is good debt? What is bad debt? What is the effects of being in debt? What are the problems that come when you are unable to pay debt? Give them practical examples. Teach them using games. Talk to them about life circumstances, about the news, about anything that will be able to help them learn about debts and things like that. Take them when you are applying for loans from banks. Take them with you, that they be able to understand and learn that there must be something that you do so that you are able to pay and become debt free. You also need to learn what are the things that you are buying, what are the things that you are taking debt to do, so that when they grow up, they are not overexcited about debt that comes their way, but rather they are very keen to get into the right kind of debt that will set them up even for their financial success. The other thing is you need to teach them how to save. You need to set up investment challenges, and I will share links on the investment challenges that you can be able to undertake with them and with yourself to be able to grow your finances. Teach them about savings. Teach them how they can be able to save. Have certain things or boxes or places they can be able to put money aside as they save for small expenses that they may have. These expenses they may be able to meet because of their savings, so that they'll be able to learn the value of putting aside something slowly over time to be able to meet their expenses. Then the other thing you need to do is teach them about investments, the kind of investments that you do, the kind of investments that are there. Teach them about some investments, how investments are different from each other. Some are mobile, some are immobile, some are flexible, some are inflexible, some are on higher interest, some are on a low interest, some incur capital gains, some incur capital losses, some depreciate over time, some appreciate over time. Teach them about the various classes of investments and work with them. If you have a rental property, go with them. Maintain these properties together. Let them learn that this is where the money that they enjoy every day comes from, so that when you do not have money to say buy them a new bicycle, you can be able to tell them, I cannot buy you a new bicycle because I have not received any investment income, and they can be able to see the cause and effect of the decisions that they make towards investments. They must demystify these things, because sometimes they can be a mystery to young minds and to young adults, and they may be forced to learn about this when it is a little too late. Then the other thing you need to know is teach them about mistakes. Teach them about the kind of mistakes that they may be able to incur, or the kind of mistakes that people make with money. Teach them how they can be able to avoid these mistakes, and teach them how they can be able to understand how people get into these mistakes. Because when you teach them about mistakes and problems that are associated with these mistakes, they may be able to avoid these mistakes from the beginning. So that is how you are able to help them learn from mistakes. Remember, they do not have to do the mistakes themselves, but they can learn beforehand about these mistakes. Then the other thing you need to do is start charging them expenses when they start earning. So your child has gotten to an age where they are able to make some money on the side. While they are staying with you, start charging them expenses. Give them a share of the rent. Give them a share of expenses. Why is this important? Let them learn that there is no free meal, that everything that you enjoy, someone has to pay a price for it. And let them learn that expenses are one of the ways that they meet these expenses. So if they eat too much, if they eat excessively, if they watch a lot of TV, have all these expenses. This is electrical charges, this is food expenses. Let them learn the cause and effect of life and earning. The same way, as soon as you earn, you are charged taxes. As soon as you earn, you meet expenses. The same way, let them learn. It is a very easy way to be able to teach them the effects of earning and expenses, and how they can be able to meet the lifestyle that they desire. Remember, when you open this topic early on in life, then it is a lot easier to be able to help them have good financial habits. So start early, start now, do it consistently, and always involve them in every financial decision, every financial situation, every investment opportunity, so that they can be able to learn and to grow. Remember, even successful family businesses have been involving their children over a period of time, so that these children can be able to learn about the business and be able to be fully immersed in the business. Then you also need to teach them about why education is important, why they learn and go to school, so that they can be able to get a better hand on how they can be able to earn in the future, on how they can be able to manage the expenses and investments in the future, and the direct and cause effect of the education that they are accumulating. Let them see cause and effect from an early age, so that they may be able to appreciate the things that you do for them, and they may be able to appreciate things before they start earning and before they start paying expenses. I hope that have been helpful to you. I hope that you will take this in heart and start teaching these young minds the beauty of financial planning and investments. Remember to subscribe to the channel, to leave a comment down below, and to like this video. Thank you. My name is George Kingori, and enjoy your day.